I'm back. So I figured bouncing off of the pie crust recipe, today we could work on tarts. I'm going to let you know now, I did not refrigerate it for an entire week just to upload this video. I'm doing it the same day. That pie crust can stay good in the refrigerator 2 to 3 days. If you're not going to use it in that time, pop it in the freezer to last about a month. So, real quick, I'm going to actually go grab the pie crust. We're going to be making strawberry tarts, half of them strawberry rhubarb, pardon me, and the other half strawberry lemonade, meaning there's lemon jam in there that I got at the international food aisle at Fred Meyer's. So the pie crust here, chilled it in the refrigerator for, looks like about 2 hours. An hour is enough to do it, but I took some time to cool off because I walked to the grocery store and it is hot and smoky outside. And you don't keep people like me in hot weather. Just, it doesn't work that way. So we're starting off with 2 separate bowls of strawberries. I've already cut off the stems and cut them into pieces. And what we're going to do, and I'm going to have to adjust the camera here so you can see it a bit. But what we're going to do, and let's remove the book. This is all going to be eyeballed, so there's no actual specific amount. If you're persnickety, which I can be sometimes, you'll want to find an actual recipe. But we're going to start by macerating the fruit. And by that I mean adding sugar, partly to sweeten it, and partly to help draw out the water from the strawberries so it makes a nice juice. I'll start off with about 3 heaping tablespoons. Make it 4 because we're adding some tart ingredients. The rhubarb is tart, so it'll need a little extra sweetening, and I'm low on sugar. And I tried the lemon jam. It is a little bit sweet, but it's not overly sweet. Good lemony flavor, a little bit on the tart side, so it's excellent for toast, biscuits, whatever you'd want to put jam on. I'm going to start with 4 here. And then what we're going to do next is mash them. I got to get my potato masher. There we go. So we're going to mash all this together, again, to help draw out the liquids from the strawberries. And you don't have to mash it to a smooth paste. No, we want some strawberry chunks in there. This is to help bring everything together. There we go. Mush, darn you, mush. Also, I have the oven preheating to 350 degrees. Pardon me. Now, I am going to add a little flour to this just to help thicken everything up so we get a nice thick sauce. We'll start off with about a tablespoon in each. And in this one, I'm going to add some cut up rhubarb and give it a slight mash. I don't know how well rhubarb is going to smash. These are not very good bowls for smashing stuff in. You know what? Maybe not smash that in. Just stir it in. Make sure everything is evenly coated with the flour. Now we're making tarts with this, which is why I cut the strawberries so small and used fresh strawberries. But if you're wanting to make a pie, feel free to use frozen strawberries, because those you can actually kind of leave whole. You just coat everything in a combination of sugar and flour and add a few little bits of butter on top before you put on the cap. So we'll keep that separate. And this, we're going to add some lemon jam to. I'm going to use a couple generous tablespoons. Or a few, I guess, because we want a good lemony flavor in with the strawberries. Gonna make sure we mix this thoroughly. Otherwise, we'll have some tarts that are strawberries only. There's some tarts with way too much lemon. We want it to be as consistent as possible. Oh look, the oven's hot. Okay, I think that's good enough. So I'm going to set these aside. And we've got our dough. Before we roll it out, we got to flour our work surface because it'll still stick. Can I get that to stick? Yeah, okay, sorry. I live in a fairly small apartment, so not much room to work with. Oh, right. You also want to lube up your rolling pin with some flour so it doesn't stick to your rolling pin. Now, because we're working with a small work surface, I am going to cut this in half like it would be a pie, but it's not a pie, it's a bunch of tarts. Just form this into a ball. Work with it as little as possible. Smush it down a bit. Make sure the bottom and the top. We're just going to roll this out. And we're going to roll it turn it every few rolls, partly to keep a round shape, partly to prevent it from sticking to your work surface. Typically about, like that. You want to turn it about 45 degrees. And roll it out to about 1/4 of an inch. Now this part, don't know if you can see here. You kind of can't, the light's a little bright. Yeah, this part right here, pardon me. Here we go. I'm just going to pinch together, and I can. Now, I don't have any round cookie cutters, but what I'm going to do is use a cup. That's not big enough. That's big enough. If you're like me and you don't have round cookie cutters, cups work. So I'm just going to trace around these with a paring knife. Or make a little imprint with the cup. That could work too. You know, if you're going to do that, you might want to add a little flour to the edge of the rim of the mug. That'd be a great idea, wouldn't it? It got stuck again. Now for my next trick. I say trick, but it's not much of a trick. I've got some cooking spray. And these are non-stick muffin tins, but even if they're non-stick, it's still a good idea to spray them down. So. Now, since that's sprayed down, I put one in each of these. I just kind of press it to form into the muffin tin. Gently, otherwise you might tear through it. Looks like I did make these a little bit thick, but that is fine with me. Oh, no, that one tore a bit. That's okay. Just pinch it back together. Now, that made 8 rounds, and these are 6 muffin tins. So, we're going to have to roll out some more dough. Do not roll out what has just been used. This stuff, oops, yeah, this stuff, don't roll it out and set it aside for now. You want to mess with it as little as possible. So we're going to roll up the next ball of dough. Oh, it's already sticking. That's my bad. Hey, look, it's forming a really fat crescent moon. That'll be interesting. Let's see, can I rotate that just a little bit? Yeah, it's starting to stick to my work surface, so I'm just going to carefully lift this up and sprinkle a little flour underneath. Oh, crap. Oh, yeah. That's why you also lube up the rolling pin. So I'm going to say that's thin enough. Just going to pinch this together where it fell apart. Flour out this mug here. And flour up the top of this thing. All right, you. Boink. Oh, lay flat. Sounds like a move from Final Fantasy VII. Oops. A little bit of flour left on the counter that I can use. All right, you. Can I put one? Yeah, I'm going to pinch this together right here. I think I can use that for one more. Yep, there we go. Bring this back over here. If there's still a little floury, that's A-okay. It's better than having them stick to everything, and a little extra flour might help thicken some of that yummy strawberry sauce. And a little bit of another pan. Okay. So next, I got 3 more rings of dough. I'll use them in a minute. I'm just going to take all these little extras and set them aside. We'll probably use those for more rings as long as we're very careful with them. So we're going to start with the strawberry rhubarb mixture. Spoon a little bit of that in there. And I'll show you here. It's already kind of starting to form some juices in there. That's from the sugar drawing out the water from the strawberries. A little bit more in that one. And also from the maceration. By the way, the rhubarb I added was about 2 stems. So there is one accurate measurement there. 2 stems of rhubarb. I think I used about a pound of strawberries between both bowls. Each one had 4 heaping tablespoons of sugar and a heaping tablespoon of flour. And set that aside. These are going to be the strawberry lemonade. There's a lot more juice to this one, probably due in part to the strawberry, excuse me, the lemon jam, which I'm still seeing chunks of in here. So I'm going to stir that a little. crust? Yeah. Is that my phone?
Got it.
Thank you. I didn't think I had an alarm set for today.
No, that was me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I heard an alarm sound. I thought it was my phone, and it wasn't. But that's okay. It's a fun song. There we go. Set that aside. And this one I've lubed up as well. So we're just going to put the 3 left that we have before rolling out some more. And I think I will roll this out. However, because this mound of leftovers has been used more, it'll probably be a little less tender than the other tarts. So be prepared for that if you're using the cut off remnants. Another thing you can do, like I said in the previous video, is that you can dust it with cinnamon and sugar, put it in a pie pan, and just bake it for like 15 minutes at 425, and you've got a delightful treat. In fact, if you really want to be fancy, you can dust it with cinnamon and sugar and then roll it up like a cinnamon roll. That's a fun one to do. Oh, come on. Using a lot of flour. That's what it's there for. So, by the way, this is all-purpose flour because that's what I got. If you're really concerned about gluten in your pastry, you could use pastry flour, which will have some gluten to it, but not nearly as much. Oh, great. Just let it go to voicemail, bro. Yeah, phone's ringing, thick and white. And if you can hear that tune and name it, double brownie points. Oh, that leaves 1 extra ring. Two extra rings. Well, okay, I am not going to bother with a 4th muffin tin. So what I'm going to do is I'll mold that all back together into another lump, roll it out, and prepare my cinnamon sugar treat. Now we're going to use the rest of the strawberry rhubarb mixture on one side. And strawberry lemonade on the other. Ooh, we have 1 left over that we can put random stuff into. Or just take it out and mash it with the rest of the stuff. Either way. Okay, that part's done. Video's getting kind of long. I'm going to pop these in the oven. Pardon me, it's really warm. They go in a 350-degree oven for about 30 to 45 minutes or until the crust is golden brown and delicious. And yeah. I'll get that done, and then I'll do the cinnamon roll trick just because I can. So. And we're just going to mash all these ends back together. Yeah, that needs to be organized. So, just to show you that trick, here, this out of it. We're not going to be too terribly cautious about rolling this out, just enough to make sure it doesn't really stick to anything. There, that's good enough. And pro tip, keep your cinnamon and sugar in a salt shaker. Makes things so much easier. Sprinkle away. Sprinkle away liberally. Do not be shy with this stuff. You will be rewarded for your generosity. There. Just going to smooth that out a bit. Press it in. Because why not? Now, let's roll this up. Add it to your liberally lubricated pie pan and pop it in the oven. So that extra pie crust will come out when the tarts do, because it's at 350 rather than 425. You could, I suppose, if you wanted to, bump up the oven to 425, bake it for 15 minutes, and then drop it to 350 for 15 to 30 minutes. But keep an eye on the tarts. If you do that, you don't want the crust to burn. So that'll be all for today. I have got a mess to clean up. Like, subscribe, let me know what you think about this video and what you'd like to see next. And have a good day.